on LinkedIn. So we are live. So hey everybody, we are live, and we'll get to that in a little bit. I'm just showing my Australian counterpart how this works here. So you're going to go to my page,
yeah,
right? And you have a different view than me. But if you go to my posts,
hang on,
like if you go to all activity, all articles, all posts.
Yeah, we're live.
Yep. And now you're here, right? Like you could see it here. And now you could follow along over here on your phone and just see what people are talking about. Right. You see the screen. You see how I have it up here?
Oh, no, I haven't got that. Where's that? How do I get to that?
So if you go to the post, you see it? All right. You don't have to worry about it. I'll send you the link afterwards.
I've just got we go live in 30. I went to that post.
All right. So go to activity. Hey, everybody, bear with us 1 minute. We are just getting set up here, and we will fill you in and tell you what we're talking about here. We are live on the Poscast Live, and I have a very special guest today. I have my Australian namesake, Adam Posner from Melbourne, Australia. Adam, how's it going today, my man?
Well, in Aussie, it's good day, but I'm South African.
Good day.
So depends on which one you want me to be.
I want you to be whoever the real Adam Posner is, because that's a question my friends ask me all the time, right? They're like, who is the real Adam Posner? And I don't think we have an answer for that. How can we answer that today? How's that even possible?
Well, I don't know your heritage, but I'll give you a bit of mine, and then we'll see if we had the same mother or a different father.
Probably not, if I'm a guessing man. What's your lineage?
So yeah, born in South Africa, and immigrated to Australia about 31 years ago, which makes me about 50 something, which I'd rather not share, but that's okay. I've got a wonderful, beautiful family here in Melbourne, Australia. I'm a passionate, living, breathing loyalty specialist, in my own consultancy, a fanatical swimmer, and an exerciser, and just all around living life.
I love it. And how do you pronounce your name in Australia?
Yeah, that's an interesting one. The Australians I need to say Posner to them because they don't hear Posner. But I was born and bred Posner, and funnily enough, my middle son, and I was really fascinated and loved the name of your podcast because my middle son is called the Pos.
That's amazing. So he is the Pos also. We have so many Poses. It's like a Pos clan. This is absolutely incredible. And I was telling you before we went on the air, we pronounce it Posner, and I have to correct people a lot, right? They say Posner. It's more of a common pronunciation here in the States, and I say no, it's Posner. And then they're like, why do you call your show the Poscast? And I say, when I was younger, I had a nickname, the Pos, and it was a very logical name for it. So everybody, we are live. It is Wednesday afternoon here in New York City. It is about 3:35 in the afternoon, and I am talking to Adam Posner in the future in Melbourne, Australia. Tell me, Adam Posner. Adam Posner wants to know, what does Thursday have in store for Adam Posner? What's happening Thursday for me?
So we might do Adam 1, Adam 2, but we were both firstborn. So Adam Posner, today's Melbourne. It's 7:35 a.m. It's a beautiful sunny day. You might have heard the news about Australia. It has had some serious fires in the last few weeks, but we're in good clean air today. And I just finished a 3.5 kilometer swim this morning. They say that good people should have a great early morning start to the day. And what am I doing? Where am I looking? Why?
No, I'm trying to point to say this Adam Posner is in much better shape. The older Adam Posner is in much better shape than the younger Adam Posner. But the younger Adam Posner is getting into much better shape of late.
That's good. What are you doing?
What am I doing? So I cut carbs out of pretty much 80% of the meals that I eat. Much more conscious about what I put into my body. And I started. We have a interval, high intensity training company here called Orange Theory Fitness. I don't know if you've heard of Orange Theory Fitness. It's a 1 hour program. It mixes between weights and cardio. I do that a couple days a week. I'm down almost 7 pounds since January 1st.
Yeah, you're looking good. You're looking good.
I'm trying there. So this is our first chat, everybody. And just to give everybody some history, I Googled my name on LinkedIn. I searched for it once, and I knew there was other Adam Posners out there. And I saw my Australian counterpart, but it wasn't just the namesake. You know, he specializes in expert in loyalty and retention marketing. I don't know if he knows this about me, but that's where I started my career. I did loyalty and retention marketing at a company called Carlson Marketing.
Yes, I know them well.
Yeah, and I did some work for British Airways. So I did work on their executive club loyalty traveler program. I know the space well. And I did a lot of work on loyalty and retention when I worked at American Express on the credit cards, as well as Sirius XM satellite radio. I don't know if you have satellite radio there, home of Howard Stern.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I did loyalty and retention for them. So that runs in my blood. We talk about loyalty and retention all the time. So just to backtrack, New York, Adam Posner. I'll show you where I am here. So I'm in Long Beach. This is Long Beach, Long Island. It's a nice painting of it here. Yeah. And I have two beautiful kids. I have a 1.5-year-old son named Oliver. I have a 7.5-year-old daughter named Nina. I love to spend time with them. And I love music and all that kind of fun stuff that New York has to offer. So why don't you tell everybody a little bit about retention, your history with loyalty and retention, because you know you've seen it come a long way in the last 20 years. You know, evolving from the print phase to now the digital phase. Where have you seen it come in 20 years? I know it's a loaded question, but love your take on it.
Look, I started in the space by my data-driven marketer, so direct marketer since 1993. Were you born there?
Was I born in 93?
No, I'm just joking. So anyway, 93, I kicked off with...
This Adam's from 79. This Adam's from 79. I'm not that young.
This Adam's from 63. So that's all good. We got that out of the way. So I've been in data-driven direct marketing since the early 90s. And about 2000, I think it was 7, I set up my own agency. It's now been going 13 years, and I decided one day that if it's all about data, loyalty programs collect a lot of data. I want to know all about them. So I walked the shopping malls. I joined about 127 loyalty programs, and I wrote a little book on programs. I published it and became like a business card. It wasn't a book that made the New York Times bestseller, but it became my little business card when I met organizations.
Yeah, I love it.
And then since then, since 2013, I've been publishing a national study, a research study on customer loyalty and loyalty programs. It's the study I've now trademarked called For Love or Money, which is exactly what loyalty is about. Are you into the brand for love, or are you into the brand for money? And I've been doing that study as a benchmark study on my 11th edition. And to cut to the answer of the question you asked, look, the changes are typically, everyone would know, it's technology driving, it's the interaction, it's be there, be everywhere, it's the mobile, the printed cards. Certain demographics still like a card to tap and tap. It's a very tap and go society here in Australia. I'm sure in the States. So digital, as you call it, is very much a big part of programs these days.
Yeah, absolutely. Here we do a lot of like in the CPG, in the grocery stores, and in the health stores. It's all phone number or key tag. That's been very good here. But I think loyalty really goes back to recognition, right? Like, isn't that the foundation? Rewards and recognition. So right now in 2020 and Thursday in Australia, Wednesday here in New York, what are some companies in your opinion that are leading the way, that are really doing some groundbreaking, cutting edge, smart, customer-centric, customer-forward retention marketing?
Yeah, look, that's a big question. And I guess some brands that you may know are brands that are only in Australia. But if I think internationally, I think Sephora is doing an unbelievable job and we're talking about a typical loyalty program here. This is a formatted, overt marketing program called a loyalty program. Some brands do loyalty without a program, and that's a key differentiator.
Right. So, and what's the difference there?
Well, a loyalty program has a definition. It's a formal, overt program with recognition and reward, so that you can gain data and be more relevant and personal and drive and change behavior. So I'll take a step back, because everyone talks loyalty these days. Please. And one of my passion points is, what is loyalty? And I do a lot with all the organizations. I ask the first question, well, what is loyalty to you? And I finally defined it after all my research, asking consumers. And it's actually the intersection between behavior and belief. And so loyalty, by definition, is the behavior is they're actually buying more and more often. They're spending money. That's the behavior. And the belief is the advocacy and the love and the trust of the brand. So you want to try and get an intersection. True loyalty is an intersection of behavior and belief. And that's when you know what loyalty is, then you know how to motivate it and drive the outcome. So I thought I'd share that definition because it's really it's an important benchmark or sort of context to go from there, and every brand or business needs to then define it.
Absolutely. I mean, that's a major point. And one quick note about Sephora, I saw in the news today in the States here, there's lots of your traditional, name brand retail stores that are closing down. Macy's, a big department store. But Sephora today, they actually announced that they're opening 100 new brick and mortar stores this year, which I thought was incredible. Wow. Do you think that has to do with loyalty and retention directly?
I'll claim fame to, I mean, I've never worked on the program, but it's about loyalty. And I just saw a post this morning. And I mean, I've never, I don't know the brand personally, but Chipotle, is that how you pronounce it? Chipotle?
Some people call it Chipotle, Chipotle. I get made fun of because I think I do it with the L silent. I don't know if that's right or wrong. Chipotle. There's one around the corner from me, and I just don't eat. I don't know. Anyway, back to Chipotle.
Yeah. So it's whether it's Posner or Pos or Posner, we know it's back to the name.
Chipotle.
Yeah.
We'll go with Pos.
You're a classic. My comment is they just launched a loyalty program in 2020 and have 8.5 million members in the first 9 or 10 months joining. Now, scale is one thing in terms of 350 million Americans. Australia, we're 25 million, so we're a little pimple in terms of people. However, the comment from the CFO was they haven't really even started leveraging the data yet. So they've got 8.5 million members, but they haven't even really started personalization and using the data to change behavior. I thought that was fascinating.
Let's talk about let's dig a little bit deeper into that and pull back the curtain. What is the registration process and tracking? Is it a key tag? Is it phone number? How do they do it? Tap and go? Yeah.
Look, it's moving more. The key tag is, as it's typical, we're trying to move away from physical to digital. Right. But it's 50-50 now. It's more about a mobile wallet, link to your program, and you just tap and go, and it all links to your account.
Wow. So they're going to be able to track how much of a fat ass you actually are at their store.
Absolutely.
And what kind of rewards is it? Like, I love the Starbucks reward system. I'm a huge fan of that. And we have in the States here, we have Dunkin' Donuts, also the two, the two chains there. And I frequent both of them. And they have similar systems, but I like how both have a gamification element to it, where there's actual programs. Like Starbucks has like different like rewards if you go X amount of times in a week, if you do a combo with like coffee and food, different things there. What are you seeing that's really working in the food and bev sector?
Yeah, the fundamental, there's a big psychology behind earning rewards. I mean, it's gamification. You just nailed it. I mean, the history of programs, it's 100% gamification. And there's three fundamentals to it, which is programs, the psychology of programs and changing behavior, which is goals, rules, and feedback. I call it GRF, goals, rules, and feedback. And you just said it, when you know what you're working towards, then you get the reward, you get the stimulation, and you keep going back again. And in fast food or QSR or whatever you call the category, the frequency is critical. Frequency is critical so that you can see you're achieving.
Yeah, I love that, because that's what they do at Dunkin' too. Like they make you come back, they give you rewards and discounts for coming later in the day, right? So they're trying to increase the day part, right? And more frequent same day store, same day visits. It's tremendous too. Now going back to Orange Theory, I just want to talk to some people in the crowd. Andy Foote writes, it was a low intensity nap. Orange Theory is a cult, and a cult is right. I love the data. I love the metrics. They came up with some crazy terms called splash points. So you wear a monitor, right? It's a Bluetooth monitor that does heartbeat, some other KPIs as well. And then when you're in the fitness class, there's big monitors in front of you. And not only could you see how you're doing, but you could see how everybody's doing. So they've turned it into a competition while you're there.
That's amazing. That's amazing. that's driving, as he says, cults is absolutely fandom. That whole app, isn't Peloton? I mean, again, I've heard about them.
Oh my God, Peloton's killing it, right? It's fandom.
Yeah.
I mean, they have favorite instructors. Howard Stern talks about it too.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really the way to do it. But if you could see here on the phone when it loads up in a second, I mean, there's full stats. You know what you did.
Yep.
Full time here.
Yeah.
And that's how they encourage the competitive side to it. It's a fascinating space. Let's shift gears and talk about loyalty and retention in the airline sector. It's changed a lot. The devaluation of miles and points and redemption. What are some trends and some things that you're seeing in this space? The good, the bad, the ugly, Adam?
Yeah, look, I'm not a deep specialist in airline loyalty, but I mean, I study it from afar, and I think they're a business on their own. I mean, they're in Australia. Qantas Frequent Flyer is we have 13 million members, which by population is half of the Australian population, and they're a 350 million profit business. So they're a whole entity, and they know so much about everyone. In fact, they say they've now got a credit card, just like many of the others have.
The loyalty points.
Moving from frequent buyer to from frequent flyer to frequent buyer, and it's just it's a massive data profit center in terms of how you earn and I mean, certainly the tiers and people who love the privilege, they're addictive. I mean, people's behavior is ridiculous. They'll take a flight just to keep their status, or there's some crazy stuff.
Oh my God, here too. I have a buddy who does there's a term for it. It's like a miles run, right?
Yes.
At the end of the year. So the miles run, he literally he needed to cash in. So he went to Singapore. He went from Newark to Singapore and there and back in 48 hours. He literally he went and spent the night. We flew to Singapore, and I mean, that's the longest flight that they have now. I think the new longest flight is Newark to Sydney, right? They have a new flight that's
they tried it on. Yep.
Oh my God, I can't imagine sitting in a plane that long, but
unbelievable. You go crazy.
I would need a lot of Xanax and bourbon to get through to get through that flight. Have you been to the States?
Yes, I have. I've been there a number of times. Yeah.
Yeah, and what's your favorite place that you've been here?
Well, I mean, everything's unique around the place. I mean, clearly New York City is just a crazy, unbelievable. You just got to soak it all up. Where else? I mean, I've been most of the East Coast, bit of the West. I backpacked across America.
Oh, cool.
When I was a young man, maybe your age. I backpacked across America for, I think, 5 months.
Wow. So you really saw America. You probably saw more of America than I've seen.
Yes, all the parks, the Yosemites, but just when you're backpacking and you actually get right into the culture of the place because you're on your own. You've got to mix. You've got to go to places. I had some crazy experiences, but yeah, I really found the place amazing.
Let's go back down memory lane. Like, let's talk about that time here. What was one of those crazy stories from your backpack? Wait, pause for a second. Were you married at the time? Were you with your wife or then girlfriend, or were you solo Adam Posner? Because
is this being recorded, or is it just you and I?
Right. Like, what's the George Costanza one? A single George and a married George can't live together. I messed that quote up so bad, but there's a George Costanza quote about that. Yeah.
Yeah. Look, no. Oh, geez. I've just got to know my namesake, and I'm telling you everything. You're amazing. You're a really good interviewer. You ask great questions.
I'm trying.
Yeah. Well, I was 25, and I was single. So that sort of kind of tells you. I was actually on my immigration. I left South Africa and I was on my way to Australia, and so I backpacked for a year. And that's when. So yeah, certainly wasn't shy in trying to mix up my relationships. But I did a Kontiki tour. Perhaps that was the craziest. I don't know if they still do Kontiki tours. But
I've heard of that.
Yeah, they were crazy tours. I think one of the scariest moments for me was catching a bus late one night and landing in Miami, and some guy followed me, keen for stuff that I wasn't really interested in. So that was a bit of a scary moment. I had to try and find a place to sit down and make sure I was amongst people. But that could happen anywhere in the world. So
yeah, that could happen anywhere. What'd you think of New York City? Like, what was like? I mean, you're in Melbourne.
Yeah, sorry, I'm in Melbourne. Yeah.
Right.
What do I think of New York?
I'm saying comparing like culture and the size of the where you're coming from to here.
Yeah. Look, it's on steroids compared to Melbourne. I mean, we're about 4 million odd people in in Melbourne, I think, or somewhere around there. I mean, what's the population of New York City area?
I don't know. It's a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a.
But
I'm gonna Google it. I think we're like 10 million.
Yeah.
We're at 8 as of 2017. We're at 8.623 million, comprising of the 5 boroughs of New York City.
Yeah, so there, you know, and double the amount. So, but the intensity is so much greater there. I mean, Melbourne is a really hub. Have you been? If you haven't been, but it's a real cultural.
No, it's on our list. You know, I want to wait for my kids for a little bit older so we could take the flight over.
Yeah, it's very cultural, very coffee oriented. You know, I mean, there's some Melbourne people have gone to New York and really cracked the market of the coffee there in New York City. You might know of one. I think it's called Bluestone. I can't remember, but some Melbourne guys.
Yeah, delicious. They have great iced coffee. It's real strong.
Yeah. But so there's a real culture. There's a lot of art, sport, a lot of sport fanatic. It's a great place to live. It's family oriented. I always say, and it's not being, you know, not being competitive, but Sydney to visit, Melbourne to live.
Sydney to visit, Melbourne to live. And what's like daily life? I mean, is it fast paced? I mean, do people really value that work-life balance? I mean, in New York, it's go, 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 right? It's a rat race. It's competitive. What's it like there? It's
there if you want it. You know, it's a matter of where you are with your life and what you want. But if you were super competitive, the fintech area is massive. Startups are, you know, here and there. The co-working spaces like the WeWorks of the world.
Right.
Are just growing and growing. In fact, I work out of a co-working space, and it's phenomenal. The intensity is fantastic.
Yeah, I'll give you a little tour. I'm in a co-working space here.
Right.
This is my co-working space.
Ah, right.
Yeah, where Bridgeworks in Long Beach, which I showed you on the little map there. Let me get my little tripod. We're live. Anything can. Oh, I think I lost my connection with the video. Oh, where'd it go? Your camera was unplugged. Let's get that back in here. So, but you can hear me, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's so strange. There we go. Hold on. Let's get this bad boy back on. Oh, I should not do that. Remind me not to do the remind me not to do the video again. That was crazy. Yeah, that was a bad idea. I moved it around, but it's still plugged in. But you could hear me.
I can see it moving.
That is so crazy. Let's see if we could redo the camera here. Bear with me. Start camera. Here we go. Okay. Whoa. But we had 2 Adam Posners, and then it went to 1 Adam Posner. So let's talk about Adam Posner for a minute. What's Adam Posner? I'll show you his favorite color.
Color? Wow. Great question. Blue.
Blue. Okay. This Adam Posner likes blue also.
But also like purple, because purple is an intense color from a loyalty perspective. So a deep purple is also a great color for me.
How so?
I don't know what it is. It just goes like when you talk about a purple heart and you talk about, it's just like the analogy of purple just seems to me really intense and very, very loyal.
Interesting. I think I know the answer to this, but does Adam Posner like to play games, like card games?
With the kids, yes, not with adults.
All right, cool. So do you want to play a little card game with me right now?
Absolutely.
So this is a new game that I have that I am infusing into the live show, and it's called Pod Decks. Nothing to do with engagement pods, which are something else. I'll save that for another time. Basically, the way we're going to do this, I'm going to take this deck of cards, and on all these cards, there's different questions to ask during interviews. I'm going to pick, so everyone can see there's a deck of cards here, right?
Are these yours?
No, I wish I did. I'd be a thousandaire. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shuffle the cards, everybody here. Hold on, let me put the live stream back up so people could see what's going on here. Andy Foote, Tom Palazzo, my buddy Tom Palazzo, what's happening? Who else do we have on? Jeremy, you still there? Jeremy Hansen, one of the most talented and awesome and creative human beings on the face of the planet, my buddy. We have Marcello. We have a whole bunch of people checking in here. So here we go. I'm going to pull 3 cards from this deck. I'm not following the camera. Yep. 1, 2, 3. We're going to ask 3 questions here, and we're both going to answer them.
Right.
Here we go.
Who goes first?
You're going to go first. Age before beauty. Here we go. Wow. What would you do if you were invisible for a day?
I'd do yoga all day.
You're a yogi.
Yeah.
But why would you do it if you're invisible?
I'd do it in the nude. I'd do it in the nude.
Okay, great. So you'll be nude and invisible. Okay, got it. If I was invisible for a day, That's a good one. I would follow around some famous people and see how they live a normal life, right? Not in a stalker, creepy kind of way. I mean, there would definitely be some creepiness in there, but we'll talk about that another time. Oh, okay. This is a good one. What is the weirdest family tradition? What is the weirdest tradition that your family has? Do you want me to go first?
Yeah, you go first.
All right, we'll do younger Adam here. So my wife is Russian. She was born there. She moved here when she was 3. My kids are learning to speak Russian. I live in a very Russian forward household, which is amazing. But they have a lot of superstitions, more than. So one of them, you can't step over somebody. So if my kid is sitting on the floor, you can't step over somebody on the floor, right? That's bad luck. And then one that I really like, you can't shake hands through a doorway.
Wow.
Right, like if you're on one side of a door, that's another one. And then a drinking one that I absolutely love. There's 2 of them. One, if you're pouring shots for somebody, the shot glass needs to be on the table. You can't be kind of holding it up in the air. It has to be grounded. And the bottle cannot change hands. Whoever started to pour the bottle has to continue to pour the bottle.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Crazy. And you've just, that's a crazy question because we've got no real superstitions. We're just a normal family loving. Maybe that's it. We ain't got any.
Well, what about traditions? I mean, are there any traditions?
I think that the traditions are, we go away a lot together as a family, so we try and keep it as a connected unit. We go skiing in winter, and one of the big traditions, we love to drive up there and play games in the car. I mean, our kids are a little bit older now, so they get bored of my dad jokes, and soon they'll be gone.
What is your favorite go-to dad joke? I got
I have so many, but the problem is I laugh at my own jokes, and they don't like that.
What's wrong with Adam Posner's laughing at their own dad jokes? I think it's an epidemic. My favorite dad joke is, how do you make a tissue dance?
Sneeze.
Put a little boogie in it. Come on. All right, let's move to card number.
That's definitely one.
Let's move to card number 3 here, and you'll answer this one first. What is something that you've never been able to do well?
Okay, what is something that I've never been able to do well? Touch my toes.
But you're a yogi though.
With straight legs. Hang on, with straight legs.
Okay, good. We got that there. I'm working on that too. Something that I've never. We got Nick Gallo on. We got Latasha's on. Something that I've never been able to do well. Draw. Like, I think in my mind, my dad's an artist, right? My dad's a wood sculptor and a painter and an artist and everything. And I have some creativity in me, right? Yeah. And I think in my head, I'm like, all right, I see something, I know how to draw it, and it literally comes out like a 3-year-old. Like,
no, that's really interesting. Now, if you can bear with me, I'm going to stand up because I'm a painter and a drawer. I didn't want to admit it, but in the back,
we have the artistic Adam. Let's see what you got. Let's see.
I had to hide my easel. I'll just get some of my sketches.
And it's also summer there, right?
Yeah, it's summer. It's 20 degrees.
I don't know what that means. What does 20 degrees mean in American talk?
Right. So to get some creativity, I used to do life drawing. That was a good one. Have you ever done life drawing? Going into a studio and doing life drawing of people, pretty much all nude? Yeah.
No. Let's see some of those.
Oh, okay. I'm not sure if you can see some. There's one.
Oh, that's great. That's really good. That's freeform.
Yep. Let's have a look. Sorry, I'll look for a good one. Oh, that's some roses. That's not a life drawing.
Oh, I love it. This is the podcast live. We are coming at you. Let's do a little radio edit here.
She was skinny. There we go.
So let's just bring everyone up to speed here. You are seeing 2 names that look exactly the same on the screen here, and your eyes are not deceiving you. We have Adam Posner in Melbourne, Australia, and you have Adam Posner in Long Beach, New York. Same namesake. Adam specializes in loyalty and retention marketing. I don't know what the hell I do. I do a lot of crap over here.
What do you do, actually? What do you do?
Oh, that's a great question. I am the managing director of a boutique digital recruitment firm called NHP Talent Group, which are my daughter's initials, Nina Harrison Posner. She's my North Star. I named it after her. And I work with brands, agencies, and startups, everything e-com, digital, on all their staffing needs, talent acquisition, process, and all that kind of fun stuff. So we're going to finish this off here. And we're going to pick one last card. We're going to pick one last card at random here. Oh, I'm looking at them. I don't want to do that. Hold on. Let's put it in front of the camera here. Here we go. Pick a card.
The one above your index finger on the left hand.
Right here.
Right hand. Finger on the that one.
Okay, like right over. This is really hard for you. I'm just gonna pick this one. Here we go. Oh, this is a tough one. We'll finish up. Would you rather be the best player on a horrible team or the worst player on a great team? Wow, that's philosophical stuff right there.
Yeah, I know the worst player on the best team because you can only get better.
You know what's funny? This Adam Posner has the same answer. That is the same exact answer. And we are going to end on that note. But
fantastic.
We're gonna do this. We're gonna look into the future. We're gonna look into what tomorrow has in store for this Adam Posner. Oh, Australian Adam Posner, I am looking into the World Wide Web mirror, and I'm going to ask, what does tomorrow have in store for me?
For me, tomorrow is Friday. It's the best day at the end of the week. It's actually got a great day. I'm presenting a beautiful strategy to a client. I'm so excited. I can't wait to get out there and make a difference.
I absolutely love it. And Adam Posner in Australia, on my podcast, there's a couple of questions that hold on, I have a call coming in. Let me get rid of that. Oh, sorry, hold on. On my show, see, anything could happen live. Could you hear me? Am I still on?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So 2 questions. What does Australian Adam Posner do better than almost anyone in this universe? What is Adam Posner's superpower?
Getting up at 5:30 every single morning.
I love it. And that's what gets you going. And last but not least, Adam Posner, what do you look to for gratitude? What do you look to when things are awesome to show, love for the universe? And in turn, like, sometimes there's bad days for Adam Posner. Sometimes Adam Posner has a shitty bad day. Yeah. And I think Adam Posner in Australia could say the same thing. But what do you look to pull you up and keep you guided?
Every day I have my grateful stone, and it sits in my pocket. And it's a little kiwi bird. It's a stone. And I keep it in my pocket to remind me of how many beautiful things I have. So a grateful stone is a physical reminder of the gratitude of the great things around me.
I love that, and that means so much. I have my daughter's name tattooed on my arm here, and I'm going to get my son's name here. And for me, those are my North Stars. That's what I name my company afterwards. Adam, I wish you a great Thursday. I appreciate your time. I wish you a great weekend, and let's stay in touch. And let's do this again a couple of times a year. This is fun. This is Pen Pal 2020.
This has been a highlight for me, Adam Posner. Just be the pause, and I've loved it. Thanks, mate.
Awesome, and I'll send you a copy of this recording. I'm going to load it up to YouTube afterwards. Adam Posner, you're awesome, man. You're the best looking Adam Posner in all of Australia. You wear the name well, and I appreciate you and your time. And have a great day, my man. Take care, Adam.
Great, man. See you later. Bye.
Take care. We're still on. Hold on. So we're still on the